Oh, hi. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. I wanted to talk a little bit about that mysterious event in soccer called offside. Maybe you've heard people talk about it and they yell out offsides, offsides. Well, the first thing to recognize and remember about that is that there isn't anything called offsides. There's no Z or S on offside. Let's go back a little bit to when the game of soccer first started, and a couple of laggards or lazy guys would stand around by the opponent's goal and wait for a pass and kick it in. And so to prevent that, a rule was developed called offside. And when a referee calls offside, they are taking the attacking player off their side. Another way to look at that is when you were a kid and you were choosing up teams, you'd be on this side, Fred would be on that side. Another name for teams is side. So instead of yelling out off teams, they yell offside. So what is offside? Well, that's where an attacking player is in the wrong place at the wrong time doing the wrong thing. Well, that's great, but what is that stuff? What does it mean? Well, before we get into that, let's decide when it can't happen. It cannot happen on your own side of the field. So the attacking team has an end that they attack from. They can't be offside on their own side. They can only be offside on an opponent's end of the field. And it doesn't happen on a goal kick. It doesn't happen on a corner kick. And it can't happen on a throw-in. Otherwise, it can happen. So, a player is in the offside position when they are closer to the opponent's goal line than the ball and the second to the last defender. That's worth repeating. An attacking player is in an offside position when they are closer to the opponent's goal than the second to the last defender and the ball. So if the ball or the second to the last defender is closer to the opponent's goal line than the attacking player, there can be no offside infraction. So if the opponent, the attacking player, is closer to the opponent's goal line than the ball and the second to the last defender, they are in an offside position. Well, that in and by itself doesn't mean anything. The whole team can be offside. Something else needs to happen. The attacking player in the offside position has to be doing something. They have to be participating in play somehow, either by receiving a pass, or interfering with an opponent, or taking advantage of being in the offside position. And if one of those three things happens, receiving a pass, interfering with an opponent, or taking advantage of being in the offside position, that player is determined to be offside, and the referee may declare that player ineligible to participate by taking them off their side. But when do you make that decision? When does the referee make that decision? The referee makes that decision at the time the ball is last touched or played by a teammate. So if an attacking player is on the opponent's side of the field and it's not a throw-in, and it's not a goal kick, and it's not a corner kick, they can be in an offside position. That is to say, they can be closer to the opponent's goal line than the ball and the second to the last defender. And if they are in the offside position, and they're either receiving a pass, which is called participation in play, or they're interfering with an opponent, or they're taking advantage of being in that position, the referee may declare that player ineligible to participate by saying they're offside. And they make that decision at the time the ball is last touched or played by a teammate. In summary, there is no such thing as offsides. You can't be off your side on your own side. You can only be offside on the opponent's half of the field. There's no offside on a goal kick.